Amish buggies, grain silos, and lush cornfields make the hills of Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, an idyllic place. But in this peaceful environment, Jennifer Redcay joined a bizarre Christian cult.
Someone in my family was involved with them first. She met them at the Christian bookstore, started talking to them. They really seemed to really be on fire for God.
Jennifer was raised in a Christian family, but didn't take her walk with God seriously. After high school, she wanted to grow in her faith. Then, she and her mother Marion met a man who told them he could help them through his deliverance ministry.
The main thing that got me involved was he told me that the Lord gave him a word that I had an idol up in my life, and would I pray to tear down that idol with him. And reluctantly I agreed because I did not want to have anything between me and God. He prophesied over me and said that God was going to use me mightily. He promised all these grand, wonderful things. And I believed him.
Little by little, Jennifer and Marion were drawn deeper into the group, despite several warning signs.
And they told me that God wanted me to sell everything that I had, to sell my house, to sell all my clothing, all my furniture, everything, and to then move to a different town.
Jennifer and her mother did as they were directed. They moved to another location 40 miles away and took jobs at a local restaurant. The leader of the cult controlled every aspect of their lives. He told them if they talked with anyone about the ministry, they would go to hell. He forced them to cut ties with family, and Jennifer's husband left her because of the cult. The leader confiscated their money and later began abusing them.
He abused us several ways. We were abused spiritually, physically, and all of us were. He beat me regularly. I had a broken rib, black and blue eyes, broken arm. He threw me out of a vehicle at one point. He actually got me pregnant and told me that I had to have an abortion.
The cult leader used sleep deprivation, rebuking, and fear of damnation to keep the women in bondage to him. All the while, Jennifer and Marion continued working at this restaurant. Then one day, two regular customers, Ira and Grace Weaver, began asking the women about their relationship with God.
They came into the restaurant faithfully every Sunday for like 5 years. We just kept talking to them. At first I talked to them about the Lord, and then the leader of the cult told me I couldn't talk to him anymore, so I had to be very cold and very curt with them. I could still wait on them, but I had to be careful with what I said, nothing personal.
After a time, Grace says she sensed that something was wrong. Then one day, she noticed a cast on Jennifer's wrist.
I said to her, Jennifer, what happened to your hand? And she said, oh, I slid and fell up against the cabinet and I broke two bones in my hand. But when she walked away, it was just something clicked in my mind. This isn't quite right.
Grace began praying for Jennifer and Marion and says God gave her a vision of what the cult was doing to them. The next time she came into the restaurant, Grace told Marion about the vision in detail. Marion immediately ran and grabbed her daughter.
The Lord just revealed everything to me that was going on. He just shared to me that she had been beaten and that he was controlling their money. He was telling her what kind of cars to drive, what color clothes to wear. And I was amazed myself what I was saying, but I know it was the Lord revealing. And they were saying, yes, that's the truth. That's the truth. And Jennifer came over and she said, are you sure I'm not going to go to hell? And I kept repeating over and over, Jennifer, you're not going to go to hell.
It was so specific that it had to be God. There was no way that any of the things that she knew could not have been from the Lord.
The Weavers told them they needed to leave the cult. Although the women feared retribution from the leader, they made the break. Several Christian families in the area offered assistance in the form of financial help, a new place to stay, and counseling. Jennifer and Marion knew they had made the right decision. Later, Jennifer found a book on spiritual abuse.
In the book, it specifically said that there were certain things that God abhorred that can happen in ministries when people get too prideful and they start taking advantage of the people that are under them. And it mentioned everything that was happening to my mother and I, including the sexual abuse.
Today, Jennifer is happily married. She and her mother are both active members of their new church. She says with God's help, she has forgiven the people who abused her.
I don't hold any bitterness toward them at all. I pray for them. I want them to see the truth because I know if they knew the God that I know, that they would not be doing what they're doing. God is too awesome.
Jennifer says everything she went through was worth it because her search finally led her to a true knowledge of God.
I understood intellectually that God loves us and God would do anything for us. You know, He sent Jesus for us to die for us. I understood it intellectually, but I didn't have any type of revelation of it as far as heart revelation. But now I can tell you that God has showered His love on me. He has done so many things for my mother and I, just giving us a new home, a new life, a new start, has restored friendships and family. I'm reconnected with my father again, and I would go through everything again just to come to the point where I know and I have this peace and joy, and I know that God loves me.